Hello, this is the Lord's Legion and welcome to a brand new episode of Cancerous Comment Conduct. The very first episode of 2019 as well as the very first episode since August of 2018, so clearly there has been a long wait between the last episode and this one. But since so many people do miss this series and they've been dying to wait for this long for a brand new episode, I thought to myself, you know what, since I'm trying to get back to the swing of things, why not just make a brand new episode right here now? Now, as you are all aware, one of my favourite villains of all time is in fact Doctor Doom. And since so many people know how much I absolutely love the character, I wanted to do things slightly differently by focusing on two videos that are in relation to Doctor Doom and try and pick out some juicy enough material to go off of for this video. So without further ado, let's begin with the comments. Now, these first set of comments come from my video on why Marvel should make a Doctor Doom solo movie. And the ever so awesome King Bagheera has commented, I know this has been out for quite a while, bud. I don't know how I missed it, but I definitely agree with your ideas. Doctor Doom is my number one favourite Marvel villain, and I would personally like to see him have his own trilogy. The first one being Doctor Doom, the second one being Doom War, and the third one being infamous Iron Man, with other appearances in other movies in between. Also, I don't think that Marvel Studios should call the team Fantastic Four, but Future Foundation instead. That last part I 100% agree with, because at this point the brand of the Fantastic Four is pretty much damaged. And as for the whole idea of Doctor Doom potentially having his own trilogy, that might be a bit of a stretch, because I'm not sure if Doctor Doom could carry his entire trilogy, but that being said, I would take it honestly. Doom is about 5 million to 10 million years old. Now, I don't know why this is necessarily relevant in relation to my video, but that aside, that is very much true because for those who don't know in the comics, Doom went back to the beginning of time just so that he could learn every last magical spell in existence, and pretty much through the entire time, Doom just stayed there. So in a sense, Doctor Doom is technically an immortal in the sense that he doesn't age. Do you think MCU Reed Richards and Doctor Doom should have a pass before becoming rivals, because Victor and Reed are one of the best hero versus villain rivals like Batman and Joker, Superman Lex Luthor, Spider-Man and Norman Osborn, Charles Xavier and Magneto? I feel like having Doctor Doom and Reed Richards' rival story can work. It did take me a few times to read this all in one go, but I honestly agree with this 100% because Doom and Reed have quite possibly one of the best rivalries in comic history. And plus you can do it very similarly to how X-Men First Class did with the rivalry between Charles and Magneto. And for all intents and purposes, X-Men First Class is technically a Magneto origin story. So if you want a good template to follow on for a Doctor Doom solo movie, just follow First Class because that is such an underrated gem as far as comic book films are concerned.
Isn't Doctor Doom the Marvel version of Darth Vader?
Oh, Jesus! If you could do some research, then you would know that Doctor Doom actually predates Darth Vader, and therefore, Darth Vader is Star Wars' version of Doctor Doom! Jeez, I hope it's rated R, lol!
I hope for his sake that this comment was sarcasm because Doctor Doom doesn't need an R rating to work. Someone like Deadpool who is completely violent, sexual and just downright mature, absolutely he deserves an R rating, but someone like Doom? Not really. Doom also has his rivalry with Mr. Fantastic. People seem to forget that when riding the Doom train, but it's one of the most interesting rivalries in comics and the two complement each other so well. Now first of all, I do want to say that I absolutely don't like Reed Richards in the comics, and I think he is so far up his ass. And as a weird confession, I more associate Doom as an Avengers villain than I do a Fantastic Four villain, and that's mainly because when you think of villains within the Marvel Universe, Doctor Doom is pretty much the face of all villainy. And I would go a step further into saying that Doom is a much more fitting arch nemesis for Iron Man than the Mandarin ever has / ever will. I might make a separate video on this subject at a later date, but truth be told, I hate the Mandarin. 2-part explanation in a 5-minute video? That is a bold move, Cotton. I mean, if you ask me, I think it paid off. Like, I said everything that I wanted to say. I still agree with pretty much everything I said in that video. And at the time of this recording, I do have a total of 137 likes and only 4 dislikes. So if you ask me, I do think this pretty much paid off. While I love Doom's classic look, I truly hope that if he gets an MCU appearance, that they would use a more Iron Man Armored Adventures type look rather than the upper body robe. I think the Armored Adventures look is the best modern look for him. Now I'm not expecting the MCU to completely adapt Doom's classic look from top to bottom and that they are going to take their own liberties with the design. I don't think it's that difficult into adapting the classic look onto live action, because I have seen some genuine awesome cosplayers that can pull off the classic look and still modernize it to an extent. However, if they do end up going with the Armored Adventures route, I would be relatively satisfied by that design. If they did do a Doctor Doom origin movie, who would be the antagonist? Mephisto? And to that I say, why the hell not Mephisto? I think he would be pretty perfect for a Doctor Doom origin movie. Because the best 2 stories to adapt for a Doctor Doom movie is to blend in elements of the Book of Doom, which is of course Doctor Doom's origin, as well as Doctor Doom / Doctor Strange Triumph and Torment. Okay, maybe you don't have to use Doctor Strange specifically, but I still think if you use elements from that story as well as the Book of Doom, you have the perfect Doctor Doom movie. Doom is the hero just as much as he is the villain. That is a very short yet very accurate description of Doom's character, and that's what appeals to me the most about Doom, because he is the hero of his own story. And I love how while he does have the world's best interest at heart, he has to do some shady stuff in order to save the rest of the world. And to me, that's the element of Doom's character that just draws me in the most. Doctor Doom is the infamous Iron Man, you cretin! Okay, in the video I did say Superior Iron Man by accident, but can you really blame me for that confusion though? Like, when you think of Superior Spider-Man for Otto Octavius, some people would assume that Doctor Doom's version of Iron Man would be called the Superior Iron Man. But yeah, I fucked up in that video. It was just a slip of a tongue moment. We all have one of those. Doom is a crappy villain. Magneto, Joker, Loki, Luthor, Deathstroke, Scarecrow, Two-Face, Penguin are all better than him. Okay, I know it's all very subjective and that people are entitled to their own opinion, but based on your selection of villains, it does seem like you tend to lean towards the more common villains, and has me left to believe in that you just don't even know the idea of Doom's character at all. I mean, at the very least, look up the character of Doom and understand where he's coming from first. And by the way, all of these comments from here on out are coming from the Best Films Ever episode for Doctor Doom. And ironically, I do have a feeling in that this guy didn't even watch the entire video. I know I'm jumping into conclusions, but based on trolls in his nature, that is pretty plausible. Best villains ever? I think you've just found the number one. All other candidates shall fall to the might of Doom. I absolutely love how you phrased that, because truth be told, Doom is easily one of the best villains of all time, and I think he is incredibly underrated on so many levels. And it just has me wanting the MCU to do the character justice all the more, because aside from the comics, he hasn't really had a good time with the media. Fail. Doom does not fail. This wouldn't have been nearly as cringy if I altered my voice so that I did sound like Doom, but I just had to add that comment in there for good measure because I do get the tingles whenever I hear that line. Great video, spot on portrayal of the person, thank you. I can use this to show people what I mean when I say that Doom is my mentor. I completely agree, he is the best character, villain or not. Now this comment actually did touch me when I first read it, because this was before that video blew up and got so many more traction, and it just made me really happy and proud of the video, because thanks to that, a lot of people did really enjoy the best villains ever, and it made me want to do more of these videos. So in a way, I do have a lot to thank Frederick for, because if it wasn't for those comments and that specific comment that he sent me, I don't know if I would have continued with that series. Doctor Doom is the greatest comic book supervillain of all time. I've heard people saying that the title belongs to the Joker, but no. Just no. Victor is the king of villainy, and the Joker is literally just that. A goddamn Joker. Now I know there is a huge debate on who is the better villain between Doom and Joker, but if you ask me, I think both villains are incredible for different reasons. Personally, Doom does speak to me a little more, but that doesn't entirely mean that I like the Joker any less. And at the end of the day, it all comes down to personal preference. If they could, I would love to see him as the next villain for Doctor Strange. Now if this was a possibility, I would be so down to see Doom as the antagonist for Doctor Strange, because he really is a good rival to Strange. But at the same time, there is some level of respect between the two, so it can make up for a good dynamic between both characters. He's the hero of the heroes are jealous of. Weirdly phrased, but again, that is very much true, because a lot of heroes fail to understand that Doom is trying to do the difficult decisions. And at the end of the day, Doom has the world's best interest at heart. As cool as all this is, I do admit that the Doom, as you stated, from all of those comic moments together does kind of make him overpowered, and pretty much most stories used in the cartoons that I've seen focus on Doom's vanity or his obsession with Reed Richards and the Avengers and such. First of all, I can see why some people would think Doom is somewhat overpowered, but let's be real, a lot of heroes and villains in the comic books are overpowered at this point, and within that segment of the video I did purposely talk about Doom's greatest feats and such. And as for the second point, a lot of cartoons don't seem to do the character justice, so again, just stick with the comics. And last but not least, we have a comment from a random video which was, where was the most powerful character of your choice at before the MCU started? Don't be a trend rider either. PS, I am certain you will have an update video and claim Doom be your next most powerful villain. This is quite possibly the most brain dead comment I have ever come across, because I have no idea on what they're trying to ask me. And even then, this comment is so irrelevant because this stems from the Best Villains Ever episode for Annihilus, and I don't know why they're asking me this question and why they're bringing up Doom in the first place. And just looking at this comment just makes me lose brain cells, so I'm done here. I'm done with all the comments. But yeah, this is a much more tame episode of Cancerous Comment Conduct, and I was hoping that at the very least I would have a bit more stupid comments, but at the same time I do think that this is somewhat refreshing, and I didn't want to kick off this series with a massive bang to the point where it was just difficult to top. And believe me when I say I am glad to be back, and I hope to God I could do more of these. And I do hope that this episode was so worth the wait, despite of it being on hiatus for so many months. But yeah, I'm just gonna end this video right here, and as always, thank you guys for watching this video. Please like and subscribe, take care and have a good one.